this demonstration, you will learn to create a cassette using basic shapes. Click the rectangle tool. Drag the mouse cursor to the artboard and click to open the rectangle tool options dialog box. Type a value of 164 mm in the width field. This will represent the width of the cassette. Move the cursor to the height field and select the previous value. Type a value of 84 mm in the height field. This will represent the height of the cassette. Click OK to exit the dialog box. A rectangle is created that will act as the front panel of the cassette. Next, you will apply a fill color to the cassette. To do so, double-click the Fill Color thumbnail to open the Color Picker dialog box. Drag the circle to select a color. The circle reflects the selected color. Click OK to exit the Color Picker dialog box. Click the stroke thumbnail to activate it. Click the None icon to remove the outline of the cassette. Click and hold the mouse cursor on the rectangle tool to pull out the ellipse tool from the group. This will act as the screw of the cassette. Repeat the same procedure of clicking on the artboard to enter the width and height values of the ellipse as done for creating the rectangle. Here, the ellipse is already created with the width and height values of 3.95 mm each. Repeat the same procedure for setting the stroke color for the ellipse as done previously through the Color Picker dialog box. Here, the stroke for the ellipse is set to black, where 0 is the value for R, G and B. Click the Selection tool. The ellipse gets selected automatically. Click and drag the ellipse to position it on the top left of the front panel of the cassette to depict a screw. Keeping the Alt key pressed on the keyboard, drag the screw horizontally to the opposite side. This creates a duplicate of the screw. Similarly, create screws for all the 4 corners. This has been done for you. Then, select the first screw. Keeping the Shift key pressed on the keyboard, select the bottom screw. Then, select the window menu. Click the Align command to position both the screws. Click the horizontal Align Center button. The screws get positioned with their centers on the same vertical line. Repeat the same procedure for the other screws. In this case, the alignment has been done for you. Click and hold the mouse cursor on the ellipse tool again to pull out the rectangle tool from the group. Create another rectangle as done previously with the rectangle tool. The width and height dimensions should be 24 mm and 4 mm respectively. This has been done for you. Position the rectangle beside the top left screw with the Selection tool as done previously for the screw to act as the recording tab. This has been done for you. Next, click on the Selection tool. click None to remove the stroke. Duplicate the tab as done for the screw. Select both the tabs and set the fill color to black from the tool spanner color thumbnail. In this case, the tab has been duplicated and the fill color has been applied. Another rectangle has been created with the width and height dimensions of 18 mm and 6 mm respectively. This will act as the tab holder below it. The tab holder is positioned below the recording tab. The tab holder is then duplicated as done previously for the recording tab. Another rectangle with width and height dimensions of 1.5 mm and 9 mm is created and positioned that will act as the slot for inserting the cassette. Select the rounded rectangle tool from the group as done previously for the ellipse tool. You will now create a label for the cassette. Click on the artboard to open the rounded rectangle options dialog box. The dialog box has been opened. Change the values in width, height and corner radius fields to 144 mm, 61 mm and 2.5 mm respectively. Click OK to exit the dialog box. Here, the shape has been created for you. Type the fill color of the label to 229, 172 and 13 in the R, G and B fields respectively. This has been done for you. Another rounded rectangle is created having width and height dimensions of 132 mm and 19 mm respectively and positioned on top of the label. This will act as the hole inside the label. Select both the shapes and click the horizontal Align Center button from the Align panel. Select the Shape Builder tool. Click on the inner shape. Then click the Selection tool. Select only the inner shape and press Delete button on the keyboard to create a hole. The next step is to position the label inside the cassette. This has already been done for you. You will now create wheels for the tape using the Ellipse tool. In the similar manner as done for the screw, create 3 ellipses, each of a different size. The ellipses have been created for you. The width and height dimensions are set to 24 mm, 20 mm and 15 mm respectively. The fill color is set to None and a grey color is used for the stroke. Keeping the Selection tool selected, drag over the circles to select them simultaneously. As done previously, align the 3 circles using the horizontal Align Center button and the vertical Align Center button from the Align panel. This positions the circles with their centers at a single point. Select the Line Segment tool from the Tools panel. Drag the mouse cursor over the innermost circle to create a line. This will represent the Wheel tab. Click the Selection tool to select the line and duplicate it. As done previously, select both the lines using the Shift key on the keyboard. Again, duplicate the selection using the Alt key on the keyboard. Move the cursor above the selection. Notice the mouse cursor toggles to a rotation cursor. Rotate the selection using this cursor. Position it horizontally inside the wheel. In the same manner, continue creating duplicates and rotating lines. Here, the lines are already duplicated and positioned as done earlier. Now, click and drag over the wheel and all its components to select the elements simultaneously. Now, duplicate the entire selection by keeping the Alt key pressed on the keyboard while you drag. Drag with the selection tool to select the entire components of the first wheel. Drag to position the wheel above the label. Select the outermost stroke of the second wheel and set its color to a dark color as shown previously with the Color Picker dialog box. Here, the stroke is